Okay, could you just start by reminding us what happened at the end of last series?
Right, yes. At the end of the last series, we seem to incense dedicated viewers by not getting married, because we'd progressed things to that stage in their relationship, and then it sort of didn't happen, which some people did get quite incensed by, but I was quite heartened by their disappointment, because it meant they were paying attention and had invested some care in their relationship. And as I said to them, well, we wanted a happy ending. It's like, well, we didn't want any kind of ending. We want to do this series some more. Plus, it wouldn't have been very appropriate to have a happy ending. It's not that sort of show. So this series, we've had to work equally hard to sort of keep the thing moving on. We've introduced a number of elements to do that. One is the threat of an old flame of the docks who turns up quite predatorily and seems to want to get her hands on him, but also to help him because he has this blood phobia that from the outset he's battling to conquer, because it's all gone wrong. It's 6 months since they didn't get married, and he just wants to get out of there and get back to being a surgeon in London. So he needs to conquer this blood thing. So he's working hard throughout the series to try and conquer that. And I think surgeons think they're sexy, and they think each other as sexy as well. So I think she despises him being a country GP, and sets about trying to help him overcome it in a number of ways, which leaves Louisa feeling slightly alienated and a little bit jealous, perhaps.
Okay, so how are things between him and Louisa at the start of the series then?
Strained. There's something I can't really give away straight off. I don't know if you know.
Yep.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? No.
No.
Probably not.
We can talk in a very cryptic way, though,
okay,
and annoy everyone.
Yeah, because of what we can't say, it's a mixed emotional bag, but hopefully, as usual, not predictable or cosy in any way.
Okay, and he still wants to leave despite that?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's made his mind up to it. It seems he can't be involved in that. That's been made clear to him, that he's not needed. It doesn't matter. Things can be done without him. So he's fine. If anything, it sort of strengthens his resolve to go. Denial being the better part of valour.
Okay, and you mentioned Edith, who kind of stirs things up a little. What's her motivation, do you think? What does she want?
I think she wants him back in the saddle, surgically speaking, and in her bed.
And there's someone else that wants him in her bed, Mrs. Tishel.
Yes.
Do you think anything could happen there? Are they destined to be together?
Tishel? Well, no, because Mrs. Tishel's husband, Clive, turns up. I think that's the second. It might be the first. No, I think it's the second. What is it? I can't remember. In an episode, which we'd all thought he was dead, but he turns up with a hearing disorder that makes him shout. But she still holds that torch for him. But he's sort of so unaware of all of this. It's sort of not on his radar.
Okay, and a lot of the town seem to dislike Martin. I mean, he's got a gaggle of girls that follow him around and shout abuse at him. But how do they react when he says he's going to leave?
Well, good luck, good riddance, get off. I mean, they genuinely think he's a tosser and tell him so at every opportunity. Yeah, there are I think a few people might miss him. I mean, there's some sort of investment of care, but he's always been so horrid to them. And they've been horrid to him. They've never gone on, really. But he's sort of functioned. It's a balance. But nobody shows that much sadness that he's going.
Even aunt?
Maybe his aunt, yes.
Okay, and how are things with the dog this series?
Gremlin died 2 years ago, our old dog, our big hairy dog, so we have a new dog this year. Gremlin wasn't, that was the dog actor's name. He didn't have a name. Our new dog has belonged to somebody in the village who died, and Auntie Joan is looking after this new dog, played by a dog actor called Dodger, who is quite outstanding. He can do a load of stuff and hit his mark. Take after take, which confounds a lot of actors.
Very giving performer.
He is a very giving and very hairy performer, yeah.
Okay, the way the story arc goes for this series, and with him leaving towards the end, is that with the end of Doc Martin in sight, or could it carry on?
We'd love to carry on, but it's not up to us.
And how long do you want to carry on for? It seems like something you do like at your own pace, like you took 2 years between series.
Yeah, we do. It takes us a long time to get it written right. Plus, I think Port Isaac might get over us if we came. I mean, there weren't any tensions this year. Some of the local press started to sort of talk it up, but there wasn't really any hostility towards us. But I think there might be if we did it every year. And I don't know if I want to do it every year, but chiefly because it takes a long time to get it written right. And we had 18 months to write this series, and we were still working on it when we were on the day of shooting it.
And what do you do during production? Do you commute down, or do you stay there?
I don't live in London. I live in Dorset, so I go home at weekends. But it's only a 2-hour journey for me. It's a ball buster to get from London to Cornwall, but from Dorset to Cornwall is a doddle. It's 100 miles. So I stay down there. And I come back every Friday night and go back Sunday night.
And are you still like charmed by the location?
I absolutely love it. I'm not a lover of cities. To get to do what we do outside the M25 is really rare, but it still remains my favourite kind of acting is in a field somewhere on location with everything off the lorry.
Okay, are you a fan of House?
I've not. I saw one. I thought it was all right.
It strikes me there are lots of comparisons between Hugh Laurie's character and yours.
Yes.
Grumpy doctors.
Grumpy and brilliant. Theirs is far more medical than ours, and not very funny. But I don't think it meant to be, did it? We sort of always wanted to be a bit funny. I don't think they seem to coexist. Not that the Americans are aware of Doc Martin, but the House does very well over here, doesn't it?
Okay, and what else have you got coming up?
I'm making a documentary about the history of horses, and then I'm doing another series of Reggie Perrin in the new year, and then I think I'm making a documentary about a friend of mine in Tanzania who used to work with George Adamson and set lions free.
How do you pick which projects you can do? It seems like it's a lot of personal interest stuff.
Well, with the factual things, yeah, I'm not a professional or even a very comfortable presenter, so the thought of doing what you're having to do, interview someone who doesn't interest you in the slightest, or go somewhere and do something, I'm not so professional I could do it when it doesn't interest me, but I'm very happy to do it when there's something that personally, I did one about dogs, which I'm very fond of, and islands, which interests me a lot, so I'm happy to do those. I like doing those a lot. But there has to be that personal intrigue, or I just don't think I could do it.